Hi, welcome back to another episode of My Point of View, and today I will be discussing the new South Park Halloween special. So here's the thing. It is exactly as bad as you thought it would be. Yes, it is. It's just as woke, just as complaining and just yelling about headlines that were happening and just there's parts in there that are only there just because of Letitia James, James Comey, and Bolton. Like there's a running joke where every time someone talks against what the president says, he gets arrested. Okay, here's what I want to say. If that were true, Jimmy Kimmel would be in jail. Colbert would be in jail. Jon Stewart would be in jail, Jimmy Fallon would be in jail, Seth Meyers would be in jail, and Bill Maher would be in jail. Okay? That's what I mean. You don't get to have them on, you don't get to have all of Hollywood screaming at Trump at once and then be like, but he's arresting people for disagreeing with him. Then Matt and Trey, you would also be in jail then. You would be. If Trump were the person you're portraying him to be, you would have been arrested by now. But you're not. You weren't charged. You weren't arrested. He never went after you. So grow up. Aren't you adults? Because you're not acting like it. Anyway, so here's the thing. So the plot is basically Trump tore down the East Wing. How dare he? And he doesn't spend any time with Melania, and he think there's this whole running joke where apparently Melania Trump thinks is a ghost or like a creature or something because he never spends time with her, I guess. And it's like, okay, that's not even true. Like even if you want to, again, like even if you're a liberal and don't like Trump that much, you can admit that Melania and Trump are not like separate houses anymore. You know what I mean? Like I know they said they were going to move into separate houses, but she's been pretty. Look at what she's been doing with the Russia Ukraine stuff. She's been out there. She's been doing things. Like it's not like she's never there. But and also, there's this whole thing that like they think that like the White House is haunted, which again, it could be funny if you made it like Joe Biden is haunting it. Like the ghost of like FDR or something is haunting it or something because he's doing too much America. Or like the ghost of Reagan or something. That would have been funnier. But no, we have to have the. It's not even haunted. It's just the fact that they think it's haunted, and I guess Devin Nunes has this whole running joke with Pam Bondi that apparently she's such a butt kisser, is what I'll say. Is the most I can say about that. And they seem to not understand Fox that well either in this show, because Fox didn't like um, Trump's indictments that much. Google it. They didn't like his indictments that much. So to be like, our brave, and it's like they're not even doing the reality of satire. Of course, Vance and Peter Thiel are secretly trying to hurt Trump because you gotta start that JD Vance derangement syndrome early. It shows they know Vance is a formidable threat. They show it. You can tell that they can see that Vance is clearly the heir apparent to the White House next, because because if they didn't, you wouldn't be seeing them act out this way. You wouldn't be seeing them trying actively to make Vance look like a devious little person. And again, who's the worst one again? Who's the worst person here? I just want to know. Because, like, is it Trump, who you say is literally in bed with Satan? Or is it Vance, who's best friends with Peter Thiel? This is what I mean. Is that it's like you're treating it like, oh, Vance is actually the secret, villain in this season or something. It's like, uh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. It's very I don't know about that one. There's this whole they have to make fun of Don Jr. and Bitcoin because gotta make fun of that. They Stephen Miller's Lurch. Don't know why. Don't know why. He's just lurch because he's, I guess because he's basically the same way they portrayed Giuliani, just like this little gremlin of a man. Because Stephen Miller tweeted things, so again, you gotta be a negative towards him. And AOC tweeted things about him too. So again, are we? I love how the left can tweet whatever they want. Yet if Miller's like, hey, why don't we actually do the deportations people put us in the White House to do? Oh, well, no, he's the evil one. He's the evil one. We have to. They brought back Noam just to do the stupid face gag. They brought back the FCC director Brendan Carr just to cry about Kimmel again, just to cry about the. And then they even put him in the a certain stance with his arm. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube, but you know what I mean. Watch it and you know what I mean. And then apparently there's this whole thing where there's a side plot where because of the government shutdown and how bad things are, again they have to try to play that up as much as possible, because again they're left wing now, so they've basically become Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel now, so they might, so that's just what they've become now. Anyway, so hey, remember when these guys you said once that they weren't going to go after Trump anymore? Remember when they said it was boring to them because every joke you could ever say about Trump was already played out by like multiple people? And remember when they were talking about Bush and they said we made him semi-competent because we didn't want, because everybody was doing the he's stupid thing and we wanted to be different? Now they're just doing every joke that Kimmel, Colbert, and every Hollywood SNL skit does. So yay, we're all doing the same skit. We can't dare have any variety or humor or anything. Can't have that. Anyway, so now we have this weird thing with Peter Thiel, apparently. Again, I don't really understand it that well. I just understand something there. Again, I know it's a joke because Peter Thiel did a talk about the Antichrist once, so therefore he has to be the crazy one, and he's friends with Vance. There's this whole scene of supposedly Melania possessing Pam Bondi in this episode, where it's basically just them crying about Epstein, crying about and saying Vance is a deceiver, Vance is a deceiver. It's like, well, what they're not realizing in this is that isn't that the whole point of the whole thing? Like, according to you guys, they all are. According to you, Pam Bondi is. According to you, Trump is. According to you, Devin Nunes and Miller are. According to you, Brendan Carr and Kristi Noem are. So what I'm just asking is, what's the thing here? Like what's the thing here? What's supposed to be the big like surprise here? Because according to you guys and the South Park writers, everyone in Trump's cabinet and staff are deceivers and con artists and stuff. So I don't understand how that makes any sense with the whole. I don't understand how like, oh, he's a deceiver. Well, according to you, they all are. So what does it matter? Then he'd be like, okay, I don't care. And anyway, so then we have this next thing where apparently, again, I don't even understand. Vance is only doing it in this, is only doing the anti baby stuff just because he wants to be president. Oh, again, it's nowhere close to how Vance actually is, but Google Vance, and he's nothing like nothing like how they portray him. But anyway, so here we are, and we have this B plot, where because of the government shutdown, they've apparently Randy and his kids are apparently all have to move in with Grandpa now, which could have been funny if we had focused on it. And there's okay, you remember when Token they changed his name years later and then tried to gaslight you about it? That's what they did here. So they apparently have decided that now they're kind of they don't want you to be, like they're trying. Okay, so there's this whole online campaign from Stan and Kenny and Kyle that apparently they want to bring South Park back from the political correct self that it is, from the anti-Trump wokeness that it is. The problem is that they, of course, have to gaslight you by acting like they care about it and then saying, well, actually, you only care about it because you want to be rich. You only care about it for money. That's literally what happens. They literally say, we want the wokeness out of South Park and the anti-Trump wokeness out of South Park and allow some stories to matter about, like, again, you don't get to parrot what people have been saying in your comment section and then be like but you're just doing it for the money. Yes, South Park writers that got a boatload of cash dumped in front of them to be TDS support, to be anti-Trump. Clearly, the people who are mad at you for completely flipping every ideal you had and now decided we're just going to yell about Trump now. That's all we're going to do. You remember also when PC Principal used to be a thing? Apparently he's a Christian now apparently, which again, I'm not against Christianity. I'm against, because it's not even a, again, I'm not against him being a Christian. I'm against the fact that he would not be a Christian. The type of person they're portraying him as would be a No Kings rally. The type of person he's at, and again, there's a lot of humor you can do for him. If you decided to turn PC Principal into Gavin Newsom and just have him running around saying, did you see what Trump did? Look at me. I'm memeing. I can meme too. You know what I mean? It's like, if you did that, it'd be funny. But the problem is you can't do that because it'd actually be funny. So you have to make fun of the people who don't like South Park. You got to make fun of the people, who are in the Trump administration. And again, if you ever actually antagonized another political side or even another topic, it'd be one thing. But all you do is cry about whatever Trump says and does. Honestly, if they had waited a day to make him, if they had made it after Halloween, they would have made it about how Trump put a chocolate bar on top of the kid's head. He doesn't know, and they would have tried to make it into a whole Satan thing. Again, you get the Pam Bondi joke immediately, and they just keep nailing it in and nailing it in and nailing it in, and they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it because they don't know. And again, he ends up arresting ghost hunters who were embarrassing him, I guess, and then they ended up arresting a kid for admitting he. And again, the kid admitted that he was doing money laundering. So it's like, again, even if you want to take it seriously, since God forbid anything be funny, he did admit to a crime. So it's not like, and I guess that's supposed to be Letitia James in their mind, that Letitia James, sure, she committed a crime, but she's really being attacked because of her Trump, because she said something bad about Trump. No, she's being attacked because she committed a crime. She committed a crime. That's what happened here. She committed a crime. So did Bolton. So did James Comey. And it's just like, it's reached a point now where it's like, honestly, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, in that it's become very obvious that South Park writers do not want you to like their show. They don't. They want to appeal. See, before, South Park used to be this show that everyone could watch because everyone would make, they used to make fun of everybody, so left wingers could have clips to meme. Trumpers can have clips to meme, and the world worked pretty good because, in the world of South Park, because then it was basically just now, because with that system, it was now we have an ability to laugh with each other because it's like, oh yeah, did you see that scene? Oh yeah, did you see that scene? But then when it's now, it's just basically for Hassan Piker and them now. Like it's basically for, Harry Sisson. It's for Gavin Newsom now. It's for Mondami now. Like it's just it's for AOC. Like it's not for us, it's for the elites. It's for the elites and their puppets to just yell about. It's for the people who hate Trump. And it's like, well, for those of us who don't hate Trump, can we have something? Again, they created PC Principle and that became a whole big meme. But the problem is that they've decided that now PC Principle can't exist now because only Trump now. So they morphed him into a completely different person just to yell about how much they hate Christianity now. So the point of this video is that I wanted to show that you shouldn't be that you don't want to watch this. You just don't, because it's terrible and not written well. But if you really want to see one that's really written well, that's a South Park Halloween special, I can't recommend enough either the one with the Blockbuster. I think it's called like FaceTime something. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. You know, like FaceTime on Elm Street or something, I think it's called. The one with the Blockbuster and Sons of Witches are two of the funniest ones you can watch. They truly are. And again, if you want to see actual funny Trump satire, watch President Garrison before. But if you want to watch this, stuff, then I'm sorry. You probably voted for Kamala. You did. You voted for Kamala. And there's a reason why Vance dressing up as his meme has more views than I bet anything that this South Park thing will do. I bet any review of this South Park episode won't get as many views as, unfortunately for me, because I'm doing one right now, but I'm at least honest to tell you enough. I'm sure this probably won't get as many views as Vance thing, because Vance thing is actually funny. Vance's Halloween costume is actually funny. Trump at Halloween is actually funny. You guys, however, have decided that your entire job is to either have raging TDS or raging JD Vance derangement syndrome. And that's just all the show is now. And you can tell that they want to start on Vance. You can tell that they want to start saying that Vance is the problem and Vance is the evil one and you can't trust Vance. You can't trust Vance. You can see it. Because there's literally a scene where Pam Bondi's screaming it, and it's like, and then they try to say like, oh, Pam Bondi's trying to take his job. Yeah, I remember that article too that you wrote, left-wingers. Yes, I remember the CNN article too that Pam Bondi was trying to take Trump's job. I can't find it now, but I remember it was a thing. And look, Bondi's not going to become vice. She just isn't. She's not going to become vice. And it was stupid back then. It was stupid now. And it's just like, of course, because everything has to be woke, everything has to be ridiculous. And they even of course they have to make the White House into a big, empty, drafty, like old haunted house now because it had Trump in it. It's funny. You didn't touch Biden with a 10-foot pole, but now but Trump, every single joke that they can think of that's anti-Trump they have put in here. Literally, think of the dumbest joke to yell about how much you hate Trump, and South Park has probably done it or will do it. So, overall, if you get like anything from this video, don't watch this special. Don't watch this Halloween special. Don't reward them. And I've seen that there's like no interest in it whatsoever. So, except if you're a raging leftist. So, again, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Let the left obsess over it. Let the Brian Cohens and the David Pacmans and them pretend like they're look at how funny this is. Let's SNL and CNN drool over it, and that'll be that. Okay, thank you, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.